Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Canadian Grand Prix, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. 12-lap sprint race and a 35-lap feature race to decide it all. I am Tim, and with me, my co-commentator, as always, Malc. How are you doing?
You're right, Tim. I am doing very well. How are you doing today?
I am excited because we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to watch, and there is a lot on the line for so many of these drivers and teams today in this final race of the season.
Absolutely, and you're rightly so. We've got three drivers at least battling out for the Drivers' Championship, because that's all to play for. And also, even though the constructors have won by Russman and Smoke, there's still plenty of opportunities for us between, I believe, 2nd and 7th place. You heard that right, guys. Between 2nd and 7th place in the constructors.
Yes,
that is insane.
It is really insane, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it earlier when we were talking about it, Malc. But just to give you a quick update before we jump into this sprint race here, neither Fast nor Furious is in 2nd place with 359 points. That's Darryl Whiffen and Joe Hamster. In 7th is Blue Flags 91. That's Sir Spud and Speed Queen. That they have 342. Remember, 2nd place, 359. 7th place, 342. That is insane. That 7th place could finish in 2nd at the end of the day, theoretically. We'll update you on the driver standings in just a moment. Actually, we do have a little bit of time because we get just a second to look at this beautiful paddock, and here is the driver standings. Ginger Tiger, we do have something to mention about him here in just a moment, Malc, but 260 points entering today over Russman's 249, and then the defending champion of Smoke with 244. Now, despite her best efforts, Speed Queen in 4th place, 220, just a few points shy of being mathematically in the chase for this championship. But all the same, she could theoretically get 2nd, and the entire top 3 could, like either one of the top 3 could walk away as the champion today.
Absolutely, and like I said, Ginger Tigers, Russman, Smoke, as well as Speed Queen as well. Those drivers, they have been absolutely phenomenal in everything that they've been hit on, basically. So it's a matter of obviously Speed Queen cannot make the Drivers' Championship, but she can get 2nd. But regarding the top 3, whoever be the Drivers' Champion, it will be as one of the greatest ever races that you never experienced, and with the sprint and feature race that we have done, it's going to be after I'm just speechless, because two drivers who are both teammates, Russman and Smoke, they've already won the constructors. Like I said, Smoke won last season in the Drivers' Championship in the Realistic Performance League as well. So, if Smoke can somehow overturn Ginger Tiger and Russman, Ginger Tiger's got a 5-second penalty that will have to be served at the end of this sprint race, so we'll have to watch out for that. There is no formation lap, and we're straight in. Good luck all, and may the best driver win. 10 seconds to go. All yours.
12-lap sprint race and then a 35-lap feature race to decide the championship, possibly one of the closest championship battles that we have had in the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League history. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The sprint race is underway. Sir Spud leads them off. Oh, Steven Nitro Gas, your top 3. Already some jostling around. What's happened is we do got a crash. Major crash.
Whoa!
6 cars involved.
What is going on?
I wish I could tell you, Malc. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I didn't get a good look at it, but I know that Sir Spud is not going to be happy. He's sitting there on the side of the track. Looks like he does get away. ARL, unfortunately, a DNF from the sprint race, so he's going to be starting from the back in the feature. But did you get any look at that, Malc?
I could not catch who drifted off. ARL's look continues to go to downhill. I don't exactly know what actually happened. I saw one of the drivers ahead had a bit of a mare or had a little bit of contact, but I couldn't catch who it was, so that will have to be checked by stewards. But there's quite a few drivers who have got no front wing at all. They've got no front wing, and that is, I've mentioned this to them at the start, try and not get a turn one incident. And what happens? What happens? That happens. In a race where championships, especially the drivers, are absolutely crucial at this stage. So that is mad. And there's quite a few drivers who have got a few yellow flags. So I'm not. Apparently Spud lost it off the grid, took people with him. So apparently, from what I'm seeing on the comments, it looks like Spud had a little bit of a mare moment, and that's what caused with the other drivers. I mean, again, we'll double check that after, but I'm just speechless again, Tim. Absolutely speechless.
Well, looking down the grid, though, it certainly could have been worse for these drivers than what it is. Of course, ARL, as we see, it is a DNF for him in the sprint race, and he even chimed in, like you said, his luck's going downhill again, and you got to feel for the former champion down there, but at least it's the sprint race. He can recover in the feature, and today we have a bit of a shorter field, so he's got a little shorter of a ladder to climb to get up to the front, but you know, all the same, we could have had 5 or 6 cars out of this race, because by my count, at least 6 were involved, and it looks as though 6 are pitting, along with ARL being a DNF, so maybe 7 cars involved?
So, I've just caught the replay of catching up with the stream, watching it back. Yes, one of the comments did say that Spud lost it at the start. And Nitrogas tried to get onto the inside, and because of Spud losing control, it's brought everyone else into the ones that were caused into that the carnage at turn 1. Well, just before, that was before turn 1 actually. So yeah, so that will probably be checked after. But again, it could be something that we do not see from the driver's perspective. I'm not saying it could be different. I don't know, but from what I saw on the stream and from what I can remember, yeah, that's what's happened. So hopefully, well, Michael will be absolutely loving it at the minute, going up into first place. But yeah, I'm still speechless, Tim. I'm so sorry. I know this is the last race of the season, but I'm still speechless.
Well, Malc, you say that Michael's going to be loving this, but another driver, or a pair of drivers, that will be loving this is Smoke and Russman. They're in 3rd and 4th. They were able to pick up a few positions, while their competitor, Ginger Tiger, is a couple of cars behind them. They're in the 7th position. Quite ironic to see Russman and Ginger Tiger in the same car, that being the Haas, while Smoke is in the Alpha Tauri. Of course, we'll explain that here in a minute, but Smoke being in P3, he is 3rd, entering the in this championship standings, entering the race today. And talking to him earlier this week, he really doesn't seem to have the highest hopes for his championship hopes. However, Smoke, we've seen him come through before, and I've been told he is the F2 champion. So he's already done it once this week. Maybe he can do it again. But of course, Russman, he's going to be looking for his championship, because if you remember last season, it was between Smoke and Russman yet again, and Smoke was the victor.
He was, and can I just say a massive congratulations to Smoke for the F2 Championship. He did an absolute stellar job, as always, and can he make a double champion before he moves on to the PC side of things after this season as well? So, who knows, but at the moment, the way it looks at the minute, Smoke really needs to beat his teammate Russman. Russman needs to have a little bit of a mare moment, and when I say a mare moment, I mean probably a couple of positions to give him a little bit of an oomph at this stage. But just reading some of the comments, Tim. ARL says, hello boys, final race, let's get it going. Lee, how you doing, mate? Hope you came well this evening, chaps. Looking forward to some green event action, some racing also. Absolutely. Hello to Spud. Stephen says it was a dry spring. We do apologise for the late notice of that. But it was a bit of a shock at the start, that's why we couldn't say it. ARL says 3 cars in front will pull to the right in wall, so had to avoid. So that's why he had that crash. And then Ring says, hey guys, Hey, Malc and Tim in the comms box. Good to see you again, Reens, for the final time of asking this season. But yeah, if you just joined in, you just missed out on a bit of a weird start, shall we say. Quite a few drivers who had a bit of an unfortunate accident, shall we say, because from looking back on the stream, it looked like Spud lost the back end and drifted to the right. That's why he completely lost it. But the safety car is in, Tim. The safety car is in this lap, and Michael needs to get a good start against Darrell.
Riding on board with Darrell Whiff and Michael Luke, he will be the control car, gets to decide when we go back racing as long as it's before the start-finish line. The drivers weaving and swerving, trying to warm up their tires and get ready to go for the closing laps of the sprint race. They got championship competitors behind them, but they are worried about their own starting position in the feature. Michael really playing the waiting game here. He's just teasing Darrell, and now he goes, but he doesn't really get the jump that he needs. However, through that chicane, and he spins. Oh, and Darrell gets involved into it, so does Smoke. Smoke is out of the sprint race. Smoke, one of the championship competitors, out of the sprint race after the leader spins out of the chicane of champions.
What is going on? What is going on? There's championship at stake. You can't afford to do that at all. You can't afford to do that. Smoke is going to be absolutely livid, Tim. He's going to be absolutely livid. That's his opportunity gone now at this stage. That is his championship gone. I'm saying it now, unless he does pull something out of the rabbit out of the hat. But at the moment, I can't see that happening. Oh my God, what's going on?
Simon Palmer off now. So Simon Palmer out, Smoke out, ARL out. My goodness. So just a lot of carnage already in the sprint race. We got Darrell Whiffen leading over Russman and Keza. Russman trying to take the lead from Darrell Whiffen. Is he going to be able to get it on the outside, side by side down the straightaway? It's lap 5. We don't have DRS because we've been under safety car. Russman takes the lead from Darrell Whiffen. And Darrell goes into the pits. Russman leads. This is exactly what he needs for his championship hopes. Keza in second now, with O'Steven being promoted up to third. Russman runs the fastest lap, and Malc, this might be the first lap we've ran under green.
Well, first lap of a feature, of the sprint race, and I tell you what, this has been. I don't know if we're having some connection issues or what, because I've been told by the chat as well, not the stream chat, but the Discord chat. It looked like Simon Palmer. It looked like there's been his wheel was completely stopped working. That's why you saw Simon Palmer just shot off in the middle and just completely lost it and hit the wall.
And Malc, Ginger Tiger is now in the pits, or out of the pits rather, but he just made a pit stop. So Ginger Tiger, the championship competitor and championship leader going into this race, who will have to serve a 5-second time penalty, mind you, following this sprint race. Well, it looks like he's just going to finish at the tail end of the pack regardless.
Absolutely. I mean, Ginger Tiger needs to get some points, because at the moment, Russman will have 8 points. That is going to be 257. 257, the Drivers' Championship, as it stands. But Keza's not having any of it because he wants to make this move done. Keza has been struggling like mad this season to try and get the decent results. But could this be this race? Could this be the day that Keza finally gets a decent result, Tim?
Well, we'll see how it plays out. We've got just a handful of laps left in this sprint race. Then we got a 35-lap feature race coming your way to decide the championship, to decide the race, to decide the constructors, to decide, well, pretty much everything, I guess, except World Hunger, unfortunately. But all the same, Keza in second place, trying to chase down Russman 88. Russman in contention for the championship. Keza is not, but like you said, Malc, he doesn't care. He just wants something to go his way today.
Absolutely, and he's doing a stellar job. Speed Queen has got the chance to make the move on to O'Steven for third place. While that's going on, you might have watched the Keza battle, because Russman is going to be struggling against Keza. Tim.
And Keza looking on the outside now, gets the move done. Russman falls back in line using that slipstream, but where is that DRS detection zone? Let's see what Russman can do now down the straightaway here. Keza, he still has the DRS, but Russman, he's right alongside. He's not going to give Keza the inside, but Keza takes it anyway. Russman falls back behind. And, you know, I think that we're just going to be seeing this for the rest of this sprint race, Malc, is Keza and Russman just changing positions.
Well, Keza needs to do something. Darrell has got a 3-second time penalty for wall to warnings. Keza could spoil the championship party possibly for Russman. Possibly. But
and,
again,
Malc
needs to get the back. Sorry. We do apologise for any technical difficulties. So we're just waiting to see what's going to happen from this point of view. Looks like Stevens finally going to make the move on to try to close the gap up, to the Speed Queen. Russman is going to try another move on Keza. Hopefully Tim will be back in a minute. So Russman is going to go down the straight. So this is the gaps have all been separate, but Russman needs to try and push on. Keza, he's doing a stellar job at the minute, holding on in first. But there is a lot of talking point in the final race, of the season at the Canadian Grand Prix. Round 15, I'm just speechless of the start. I'm speechless of the incidents that we have seen. And also, championships are absolutely distraught because Smoke is out. Smoke's out. Simon Palmer, who said before the race, he said he was absolutely feeling confident at this race, but unfortunately for him, due to his wheel being broken, he had to DNF. Tim, are you back?
Yes, I am. Sorry about that. Just had an urgent matter that required my attention, but all is good now. And sprint race still going on.
Yeah, we got about 4 laps remaining, Tim. We got about 4 laps remaining. And Keza is doing a stellar job to hold on in first place. But yeah, as I was saying, Russman, if he wants to close the gap onto Jinsai, I mean, this is still good for him, regardless. But at the same time, this has been... you would need a lot more points because anything could happen at this stage. Whoever happens, Tiger will have that 5-second penalty served at the end of this sprint race. But I think there might be quite a few talking points at the end of this race, as well as tonight, Tim.
And I want to bring attention to something that Reams actually said in the comments, saying that Russman is using that side draft, and believe it or not, it is a thing in F1 2022. And that's actually a very interesting observation that he made that I didn't think of. Because, you know, side drafting, you're usually going to hear that when you're talking about NASCAR, mainly at the super speedways and the mile-and-a-half tracks, but you don't hear that term a lot being tossed around with Formula One here, or at least on F1 2022, as Keza picks up a 3-second time penalty that could put this sprint win in jeopardy.
Yeah, he needs to step on again. I think Russman is just trying to play the safe game. But yeah, I mean, I've never heard of that term. Well, to be honest, I've never heard of that terminology before, like the side pod. The side drift. I know. I feel bad now because I should know about that. But the side drift. I mean, hopefully that will come into play. But it looks like Keza's just holding on with the penultimate lap, Tim.
Yeah, lap 11 of 12 here now. Remember, Keza not in contention for this championship, but can still go out and win the feature race, and what a bittersweet moment that would be for Keza. Russman in second place. He is a championship contender, trying with all his might to chase down Keza, pick up a sprint win, start on the front row, pick up a few extra points, but he might not get there. He is going to have to get within 3 seconds of Keza, and it looks like Keza is just a little bit too fast. And then, of course, Speed Queen 80, competitor last season for the championship in the last race. Sadly, not the case today. All the same, P3 for her at the moment. Then Steven and Spud back there in 4th and 5th. Nitro Gas, Darylwith, and Michael Luke and Ginger Tiger, the points leader, in P9. That is the remainder of the drivers running, with Simon Palmer, Smoke, and ARL out of this sprint race. 35 laps of a feature race coming your way following the checkered flag here, but here is Keza, your leader, 3.5 seconds over Russman. What does Russman have to do, Malc?
get quicker. it's just the terminology that you need. He needs to push. But I think the way he looks at me, I think he's just playing it safe. I mean, whatever happens, he's still going to get 7 points. But like I said, the more the better. But I think with Rustman just trying to ease off, and with Jin Tiger not getting any points, even if Jin Tiger gets into the top 8, he will still have to serve that 5-second penalty anyway at the end of this race. Not the feature, just this sprint race. So I think Rustman will be kind of relieved that this is going to happen. But if Rustman can do it, I think we might in for an absolute belter of a race tonight in the feature.
Yeah, and it's not looking like Rustman's going to be able to overcome that 3-second gap on Keza, but as you said, Rustman, he has got his eye on the bigger picture, and that is the championship.
Absolutely, I think that's the way it goes, because you can't risk it. I mean, you want to win, obviously, you want to win, and you want to produce some good results. But at this stage, you just can't afford to make mistakes, and I think he's just playing it safe. There's no point in rushing, catching up to Keza, who's just crossing over the line, and because he's got that 3-second time penalty, he will be the start, but he will get 8 points, Keza. So Keza will have 8 points. Rustman will start off in 2nd place, and pretty much the favourite at the minute. And well done to Speed Queen for top 3.
So how many points does Rustman get? How many points does Ginger Tiger get now following this sprint race?
So I'm just waiting to see, depending on the situation. I think Michael might finish in 8th place anyway. I think, well, Ginger Tiger will stay in 9th. So Rustman will have 7. So Keza will have 8. Rustman will have 7. Speed Queen will have 6. O'Steven will have 5. I think it was Nigel Gash in 4 points, but I will write the rest of it down. But Ginger Tiger will not have any points, and I will do the quick points for you guys in a moment too. But while the standings are just loading up, so I'll let you do the classification, Tim, for the sprint.
Well, Malc, I've got something for you as far as the top 2, but first and foremost, your finishing order and starting lineup for the feature race, but finishing order for the sprint, Keza in 1st with Rustman in 2nd, Speed Queen 80 in 3rd, 4th is O'Steven Nitro Gash in 5th, Sir Spud in 6th, 7th is Daryl Whiff and Michael Luke in 8th, 9th is Ginger Tiger, Simon Palmer in 10th, Smoke in 11th, and in 12th is ARL. Now, if my math is correct, so it's not, Ginger Tiger and Rustman should be separated by only 4 points. 260 for Ginger Tiger, 256 for Rustman.
So 256. So 260 still for Ginger Tiger. 256 for Rustman. 244 for Smoke. 226 for Speed Queen. This is going to be insane.
Now, once again, no formation lap for this feature. We're going to jump straight into it, just giving these drivers a moment to choose their strategy. Now, what are you going to do if you're Rustman, Malc? What strategy are you going for, and how are you playing this race?
If I was him now, I wouldn't risk it for a biscuit. I would just do what he has been doing. Just get that medium start. Just get that good, get that head start that you need. The softs will not last. They will not last. Probably about 10 laps at most. But the mediums, it'll be a medium hards. Depending on safety car, anything could happen. Just waiting for some confirmation from some of the Discord chat. I think there's been a few issues with some of the wheel feedback. So this lobby, I don't know what's happening at the minute, but yeah, we do apologise. We'll try and get some more info from some of the drivers, but yeah, Reen says great sprint win for Keza, bit of luck on his side, and he's earned it. Yeah, that's 1/2 done, Reens. That's 1/2 done for Keza, but he's got to do the feature. Can he do it again on the feature? That'll be the wait and see what's happening. But if I was Rustman, I would start on the mediums personally, and then go on the hards, and then I've seen yesterday where JBH in the F3 did a medium soft sprint because because some people were going for the one stop, which is like the medium hards. That's how I would have gone for. But I'm not Russman. Russman will probably know all the strategies that he can think of at this stage. Would you have gone the same as me, or would you have gone something different, Tim?
I'm really kind of feeling like medium hards is the best way forward here. Of course, Russman, he doesn't have to worry about that too much. He's already in the second position, but Ginger Tiger, he might be sweating a little bit because he does not have near as much of a buffer as he did entering the race today. So Russman, 4 points within his competitor, 4 points away from a championship. Ginger Tiger cannot afford to make mistakes.
Yeah, he can't afford to make any silly mistakes at all. I'm not sure what's happening at the minute. I don't know whether we are going to have a restart or we are going to get some clarification. But yeah, sorry for the pause, guys. I bet you're wondering what the hell's going on the final race. We are just trying to figure out what's going on because I think there's been a few issues with some of the drivers who have had a bit of a glitch or a bit of technical issues from their cars. So. But yeah, we do apologise. We'll try and find out as quickly as possible for you guys. But it did kind of affect the result tonight, wherever happens. But like I said, I don't want to take away from Keza because Keza deserved that win in that sprint. Tim, do you agree with that?
Yeah, yes, he did. But I also see what you're saying there, that potential problems that were out of our control and out of Invictus's control did in fact affect the finishing order of the sprint race, which also affects the finishing order of the championship. Now, Malc and I, we are not stewards. We are not the ones making these decisions, so we don't have clarification for you just yet on what's going to happen. It could range from anything from a restart today to postponement of this race if they felt that that was appropriate. But again, we will keep you updated as soon as we have any information regarding the issue. But if you're just joining us, Keza did win the sprint race with Russman coming in second. That brings Russman 4 points within the championship leader of Ginger Tiger.
Yeah. So I think we're just waiting for a few drivers. I think they've lost connection with their cars and the garage. So hopefully they'll get back in as quickly as possible. We might have to do a restart of the lobby, but personally, I mean, from our point of view, from what we have seen, it didn't look like there was any issues with the stream as what we could see, but it obviously is totally different from what we could see on the driver's perspective, Tim. But from our screens, it looks like everything looked fine as such. But yeah. ARL says, no, Michael, no, that was not right. That was so not right. Absolutely. But again, we have to wait and see what the admins are confirming because, yeah, personally, that's affected at least a couple of drivers with the championship because Smoke got DNF'd, Ginger Tiger got into ninth, but Russman got second. But then you're feeling bad for Keza and Russman. So it's just so we have to wait and see what's going to happen. We'll just try and see what happens. But if you obviously if you like what you've seen so far, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself.
Yeah, and do you have any update for us, Malc?
So, okay, full lobby restart for fairness. So, I believe. Okay, so I think this is where we're going to get confirmation. So, sorry, I'm just still reading the catch up. So basically, I think we're going to have a full lobby restart, but restart the feature for the feature race, not the sprints. But again, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how everything plans out. But we are a little bit confused. Well, we are a little bit concerned at the minute because we're just trying to figure out what is actually going on. From what I've been told, we are going to have a lobby restart. So I do apologise to everyone. So I just want to clarify. But Tim, give us your thoughts of the Canadian Grand Prix in general, and tell us what you think about for the race itself.
Well, Canada is a great track. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Matt, but it is a great track, and it's one that I do enjoy driving around actually. And I even said when we got into the party here that I think that this is a great track to end a season on and decide a championship. And it's a shame that it can't happen in real life in Formula One, but of course the track would most likely be covered in snow by the time November rolled around. So we just have to settle for that in Invictus.
Yeah, absolutely, and just trying to see, hopefully get some more info in. So we're just trying to see what's happening at the minute, but um, I'm so sorry you're all sick and tired of me saying the last things, but I just want to clarify what's going on from the chat's point of view. Tommy, but yeah, so I'm just seeing what's going to happen, but from that perspective, okay, so we are going to have a new lobby. We're going to have a new lobby coming in. So yeah, we are going to be having a new lobby as we speak. But whether it's going to be the sprint to keep the results or go straight into the go to the feature, we'll find out in a moment or two. But
Yes,
so
Malc,
that's
my
gonna.
apologies, but we are going to have to go into another lobby, so we're going to have to deal with a blank screen here for just a moment. And still have the
Sorry,
blank screen,
Tim.
but we should be okay. Yeah, it has been just a little bit weird today, Malc. So I'll tell you what, here's what we're going to do. We've got the sprint race in one stream. We will restart the stream with full clarification and full confirmation on any and all questions with the feature race when we have them. So just give us a brief moment and we will be back with you.